everyone. We're going to go ahead and get things going here. We probably will have a few more folks joining us, but want to welcome everyone to this month's edition of the AEDC Voice. We've got a great program for you today. We've got a lot to cover. Today's topic is going to be Mr. Roger Ballard introducing Nuvision Alaska, the result of a recent merger with Denali Federal Credit Union. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and recognize first and foremost our great sponsors who make this program possible every month, Alaska Executive Search and Bradison Management Group. And we've got an announcement from our sponsors, and I'm going to hand things over to Stephanie Hayden, Director of Business Development, who's got some exciting news to share with all of us. Stephanie?
Thank you, Bill, and thank you for allowing Alaska Executive Search and Bradison Management Group to be a part of this program. We very much understand bringing two amazing organizations together to deliver even more greatness. Alaska Executive Search and Bradison Management Group are now People AK. You'll see all of our commitment in everything we do because we are better together. And that's not simply a phrase to catch attention. It truly is a philosophy we continue to adopt. AES does not employ recruiters. We employ consultants. Like our sister company, Bradison Management Group, our consultants support Alaska businesses throughout strategic approaches to staffing immediate needs, onboarding talent, and of course, for the success of managing change. Better Together allows both AES and BMG consultants to meet the client needs throughout the business lifespan and to focus on strength for our clients and for our candidates. So together, our organizations offer a host of services: talent sourcing, recruiting, engagement and retention, strategic planning and talent selection, technology and training, Gallup strengths and leadership development, branding and communication. So People AK is about collaboration, and it's about collaboration between our two organizations, our partners, and of course, our clients. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. That's exciting news. People AK is doing great work to help any number of companies bridge the incredibly difficult times we are having in identifying and attracting workforce to fill the many jobs that we're getting out there that we need to fill to get our economy back on its feet. And People AK should be applauded by all of us, and thanking them for all the hard work that they are doing, and a great company to work with if you've got employment needs that need to be filled. All right, once again, let's go ahead and move on into today's main program. So want to let you know that we are going to be doing a Q&A afterwards. As you think of questions, please put them into the Q&A. Use the Q&A button, or if out of habit you do it in chat, we'll catch those too. We've got a great program, and once again, we are proud to welcome Nuvision CEO Roger Ballard, who's going to be introducing Nuvision Alaska, the result of a recent merger with Denali Federal Credit Union. Now, with a behind-the-scenes look at merging with a credit union with more than a 70-year history of Alaskans, Mr. Ballard will discuss the challenges and opportunities managed along the way. He'll share Nuvision's commitment in Alaska and will provide insight to the credit union's investment in community and its members. Mr. Ballard joined Nuvision in 2004 with more than 30 years of experience in the financial services industry. He has led a significant increase in Nuvision's assets, primarily through successful mergers. As CEO of Nuvision in mid-2010 to 2012, Mr. Ballard was also President and Chief Executive Officer of Connecta Federal Credit Union, with assets of over $3 billion during a planned merger which did not consummate. During his more than 2 decades as a credit union CEO, Mr. Ballard also served as President and CEO of Community Financial Federal Credit Union in Plymouth, Michigan. He began his credit union career with Golden One Credit Union in Sacramento, California. Nuvision Credit Union is a $2.6 billion financial institution with 11 branches across Alaska in Anchorage, Eagle River, Wasilla, Kenai, Fairbanks, and Juneau, and a network for 27 branches in Alaska, Washington, Wyoming, California, and Arizona. Now, through its extensive co-op shared branch network, Nuvision member benefits include access to an additional 5,600 branch locations and more than 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs available across the country. From a new car to first home, college savings to a secured retirement, Nuvision helps Alaskans achieve their financial goals for the life that they build. Ladies and gentlemen, AEDC is proud to welcome to the AEDC Voice, Mr. Roger Ballard.
Thank you, Bill. Very much appreciate that warm welcome. And I'm just going to transition over to my presentation just to check in. Are you hearing and seeing me in my presentation okay?
Yes, looks great.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Bill. I really appreciate that kind introduction. I think you did part of my presentation for me, so I want to thank you, and maybe the audience will thank you. I'll be a little shorter maybe as a result of that. So again, in all seriousness, good morning to all, and thank you for inviting me here today. It's a great opportunity to share a little bit more about Nuvision's story in Alaska and elsewhere. And really, I'm excited today to be able to introduce a new name in Alaska financial industry, but also an Alaskan financial partner that's been in business for more than 70 years. And I know those two things sound a bit conflicting, but I'll share more and it'll make some more sense, I hope. Again, in today's AEDC Voice, I plan to share how we got here as Nuvision Credit Union in Alaska, our commitment in Alaska, and what the business community and members can expect in the years ahead. So again, really excited to be here and share a little bit of our story. And I'd like to maybe start with just the basics of how we got where we are today. So as Bill mentioned, I'm CEO of Nuvision, been in the credit union industry for many years, and as he shared, I didn't know the full introduction. I've lived in a number of different places, had the great opportunity to live and work in a lot of different communities in the U.S. And so it's been a great opportunity to get to know people, communities, and learn more about how financial institutions can best serve communities and members. So a large part of our growth, we've kind of had a combination of growth through just organic, kind of one member at a time. And we've also completed, I think it's so far 10 merger partnerships, over my career. And that has allowed us to expand in some other areas, such as Wyoming and Arizona. We actually currently operate in 5 different states, although we have members, I think, in pretty much every state, but we have operations in 5 different states today. But our merger with Denali Federal Credit Union, based here in Alaska in 2018, yes, it's already been 3 years. It's hard for me to believe, but it has. This merger partnership has been particularly special, and it's our largest partnership thus far. So when this opportunity arose, we knew it was a great opportunity. Not only because it would represent growth for us, expansion, and 40% of our branch network as an example, but because what really we saw as a great opportunity was the fact that we share a rich history of supporting hardworking Americans. And that's what we really focus on. Both credit unions have come together. We have a history and a continued focus on serving hardworking people because we are the credit union that focuses on helping members build the life you build. It's about the member. What kind of life do they want? Everybody has aspirations. Most people have goals. And if we can come along as a trusted partner to help our members reach their goals, to reach their aspirations, then we are successful. And that's really what we're focused on. Denali Federal Credit Union, they started back in 1948 as a credit union, and they started serving the city of Anchorage employees. And over time, they also grew through a number of merger partnerships, serving railroad workers and a number of other groups. Long before we came together. So more than a decade, this is all more than a decade before Alaska's statehood. At Nuvision, we were founded in the hangars of Douglas Aircraft in 1935. And we started out serving the aerospace industry, specifically Douglas Aircraft employees. And we've started then and continued to provide financial services and opportunities to both individuals and small businesses that aren't afraid of hard work. We're not your suit and tie bank. I do have a few ties, but I don't wear them often. And we're really focused on serving hardworking people in all the communities that we serve. And again, we're operating in 5 states, and Alaska is a very important additional market for us to be able to serve the members and the communities here in Alaska. So, looking at, when we bring companies together, and I know our sponsor, also is bringing some groups together as well. So it fits in a nice theme for this program. It's about bringing talent and resources and ultimately members, together. So, as I mentioned earlier, it was 3 years ago that our members approved the merger partnership, but actually the work to get this partnership done started well before then. I think it ultimately started in probably late 2017, but it was in October 1st of 2018, our members approved the merger partnership between Denali and Nuvision. And then the work began to bring 2 dependable, financially strong credit unions together. And one of the things that when you bring companies together like that, there's and the important and challenging work of integrating operations and systems. And I can tell you from our experience and my experience as CEO with multiple mergers, and again the one with Denali being the largest, it is a big undertaking, and it always includes some bumps in the road, no matter how well you planned. But I'm just so excited about, even with the bumps, we were able to rectify them very quickly, and I'm really, really proud of our team because it requires a lot of change for employees as they're learning new systems and some new practices, new products, and things of that sort. And I'm just so very proud of the more than 500 team members that we have at Nuvision Credit Union, many of them based here in Alaska, for their outstanding dedication to our members, who are also owners, since we're a credit union, we're cooperative. From day one, we've listened and learned from our members, and we'll continue to do so. We believe we can be even better than we are today by continuing to strive to incorporate feedback we receive from our team and from our members. We're a credit union. We're different from banks because we are owned by our members. So the same people we serve are the same people who own us. So that's an exciting opportunity to stay focused on how we can best serve our member owners. Our goal has always been to as part of bringing our companies together is to retain the best talent, to retain their Alaska roots and heritage. And this month, we're really excited to be launching our new look across the state, Nuvision Credit Union Alaska. We are one company, and we have one name. And we do understand, when you make some changes like this, as excited as I am and our team is about, rolling out this new look, this new brand, we understand that change isn't always easy. And we have members that have been with us for generations, and the choice of a financial institution, it's a very personal one for people, Alaskans. They've got an affinity with their banks and credit unions. So when we decided to partner with a credit union with such a strong reputation as Denali has, we know it's not as easy as just changing the name. Part of the reason we waited even 3 years to started, transitioning over time versus just changing a name right away. We wanted to learn more about the communities, learn more about our membership, and take things slow. So after 3 years of legally being together, we're really excited again to be transitioning to Nuvision Credit Union Alaska. Our team members here in Alaska have been, fantastic, and we've unified our team regardless of where they're based. Even before the pandemic, which, for most of us has been a trying time, and it continues, is Nuvision had teams. So even prior to the pandemic, we had teams based in multiple states. All the states I mentioned, and even beyond that, we've always supported a very flexible work environment, as long as we can meet the business needs, our members' needs, and then meet the employees' needs and where they want to live and how they want to live. We really look for those, opportunities where we can, find mutual win-wins, shall we say. And, we, thanks to our great technology group, we were able to have the technology infrastructure in place even prior to the pandemic. And then when the pandemic hit, we, like many companies, we had even more of our talented team members working remotely in those positions. They were able to do that. And the transition, was, something that we could support very easily because we already had those kind of capabilities, and we were able to leverage the technology and the practices that we already had to continue. Our mantra has been to continue to be there for members throughout the pandemic, throughout whatever, continue to be there for our members and for the communities in which we serve. And I'm really proud of the team who's allowed us to do just that. So while the name on our buildings is changing this month, our great team of dedicated professionals, they remain the same. And they are such important contributors to our company and our future. Just so proud to have the honor to work with so many talented professionals we have here at Nuvision Credit Union, Alaska. Our focus is also certainly on retaining those relationships with members, especially during times of change, and engaging with new members. And we've just been really humbled and honored that our members have supported us. We know we can't please everyone, but when we look at our masses and our numbers, our members have been very loyal and very thankful to have them. They're staying with us. They're trusting us with their finances and continue to benefit, from our growing product set. I know one of the things I talk about with our team is, we're in the serious business of helping care for other people's money, but we certainly try not to take ourselves too seriously. And we really try to stay humble and keep getting better and stay focused on what our member feedback is so we can keep getting better. And we'll keep doing that long beyond, in the future years and now. So through a merger partnership, a key to member service is consistency. And we're always striving to do that. And one of the things through this transition process with the new look is unifying our website. So our brand is keeping, our brand and our focus is keeping Alaska as a priority. So we're really excited. And in terms of thinking about culture and tradition, we know those are things important in every community. And I think Alaska particularly is, when we were deciding on this merger partnership, one of the things that we looked at is how it would benefit the communities in which we're serving here in Alaska. And after 3 years of officially being together, I'm really pleased to report back that the impact, in my humble opinion, has been tremendous. We launched Nuvision Cares, which is our philanthropic approach in communities that is focused on giving back, giving thanks, and sharing gratitude. This month, we launched a GoFundMe account to raise money for food pantries statewide. We've also opened our branches as food drop-offs and encouraged participation by our employees and our members. In Anchorage, for example, we're supporting the Children's Lunchbox. In Fairbanks, it's the University of Alaska Fairbanks Student Pantry. In Juneau, it's Helping Hands. In Kenai and Mat-Su, it's their local food banks. So we're committed to finding ways to make an impact at a local level wherever possible. And one of the themes that certainly we're trying to do, all we can as a company and as a team, but we're really encouraging participation by our members, by our team members, and our business partners, to amplify the type of positive impact that we can have together with the community. Our first responders, certainly this last year and a half has been an example of why we're so thankful for them. They're working tirelessly through the pandemic. And last month, in recognition of the 20th anniversary of 9/11, we paid our respect to and gave our thanks to the Anchorage firefighters by delivering 400 meals to them at stations across town. And last year, we delivered meals to hospital workers. This also created, our healthcare workers have been doing such a great job in difficult circumstances. So we just wanted to, say thanks to them and their continuing service to the communities. And one of the things we know, and depending on the industry that you're in, either working in or the business you may own, certainly we saw some kind of mixed impact of the pandemic on different industries. But we know for sure that restaurants, for example, if you're in that industry, were heavily impacted during the lockdown, hunker down, type process, and just from the pandemic, people not eating out as much. So one of the things where we tried to help the community, not only say healthcare workers and such with meals, but partnering with local restaurants, one of them being Peppercini's, to also support them in the local communities as well. So we saw that as again another win-win. So in the coming months, you're going to hear more about our plans to support local veterans and spreading holiday joy. But I want to share, that these efforts are driven and inspired just as much by our members as they are just, our interest in doing community outreach. One example to share that just really touched my heart is just this last year, we had a 12-year-old member, 12 years old, on their own. They arrived at our branch in Anchorage with 150 gifts that she had purchased. This 12-year-old young lady had purchased using both her personal savings and also monies raised specifically for the toy drive. And seeing our members get involved like this, especially such a young member, with such a great heart and heart in action by donating these 150 gifts is just a fantastic example to all of us, in my view. And we're just so thrilled to see our members getting involved in this. And it assures us that we're doing the right things and pushes us to, want to do even more. So, here in the 49th state, certainly you demonstrate the importance of community, being neighborly and watching out for each other, and through fighting food insecurity, celebrating local heroes, and honoring our veterans, and also spreading joy. We're building on your tradition. So we're just excited to be, part of the community and part of making a positive impact. As I mentioned, we serve a number of different states, Alaska being an important one. And I'm just proud to share a short video that highlights some of what we're doing in different communities, including of Alaska or in Alaska. So I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to navigate over there, and hopefully all this wonderful technology works well. We'll find out soon enough. And here we go.
I'd like to thank Nuvision for the dinner this evening. We're honored to be here.
We have had a few events to benefit the community, benefit the veterans.
I think it's very nice to invite veterans from the community, of which Nuvision is obviously a part of the community.
With the event, Nuvision has committed to donate $25 a rider to the Freedom Committee of Orange County.
I wake up every day and I'm proud to be an American. All of our veterans, stand up. Thank you all so much.
I think the credit union does a lot of great work for the veterans, letting them know what their options are and helps them with financial management, and I think that's important.
It's not just about us, it's about what we can do together.
Confusion never stops, closing walls and ticking clocks, gonna come back and take you home.
Thank you to Nuvision for your food drive contributions that are allowing us to feed children and families in Anchorage for weeks to come.
I wanted to personally thank Nuvision for partnering with Peppercini's to feed the frontliners during this COVID-19 crisis.
We know that you care about children and families in this community just as much as we do.
Going out into the community and having that expertise, that's what's important.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
I don't really know much about financial literacy.
All right, and what do you do with your money? Spend it. You spend all of it? Yeah. All right, you need to come to the workshop.
She was a really engaging speaker, and I really liked how she connected her life's experiences to her knowledge of finance and investments.
What Nuvision is providing to these kids and after-school programs is outstanding. I wish I would have had this when I was a kid, a teenager.
We are still educating ourselves on financial literacy.
You don't see a lot of these banks coming out there and actually helping these communities, they don't help these students become financially literate.
You might think, oh, I'm in high school, what can I do? What can I say, right?
It's really cool that the bank is doing this, that we get a head start.
This program by Nuvision is doing tremendous work, and it's making a difference in these young kids' lives.
It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep.
Nuvision is really setting the charge and setting the standard for any bank out there.
I think it's a fantastic opportunity. There's nothing like it.
Where I want to take where I want to take where I want to take.
We really hope that Nuvision continues this program for many years to come.
Well, I hope you enjoyed, that video. It's just an example of one of the reasons I'm so proud to lead our team at Nuvision Credit Union Alaska. And, again, one of the things that we're so excited about is the fact that we can amplify our impact through working with our members, our team members, and business partners in the communities. We think, that's what it's all about, is making even a bigger, bigger impact. So kind of transitioning over to our leveraging what we call the Nuvision advantage, and Bill in his intro mentioned a little bit of this, is, the scale is helpful in the financial services industry. So part of our advantage is the fact that we have now a larger scale, more branches available to our combined, membership, including our network with other credit unions through our what we call the co-op network. And that's where we get access across the US. Our members have access to approximately 5,600 branches and 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. So we think our members certainly find value in that. And to update one of Bill's numbers, we're actually now at over $2 billion in assets. And as a financial institution, as a credit union, our strength and our flexibility have allowed us to, serve member needs. It's really something attributable to our membership as a whole. We're able to do so much in the communities that we serve because of the support of our members. We're able to be successful because of the support of our members. And this last year, our loans in terms of total loans grew to over $2 billion. And one of the things that was particularly exciting to us during a difficult time, as I mentioned, during the pandemic, is we were able to assist about 400 small business members with those SBA Paycheck Protection loans, what we call internally PPP loans. And, for some of you might have had experience with that or not, the rules weren't really even written, and they were, I think the government with good intent was trying to help. But it was kind of a bit of a Wild West from a how does this work standpoint. And our team just so stepped up and helped our members and, tried to really assist them through the process. And just, we're so pleased we were able to help, again, about 400 of our members with PPP loans. We also offered COVID relief programs, which involve primarily loan payment deferrals. Again, we know some people had job losses, other businesses, had revenue losses, during the pandemic. And so for those who needed help, we really wanted to help them. We're a cooperative, we're about helping each other. So through this COVID relief program that we called, we were able to provide loan payment deferrals on $313 million worth of loans. We offered almost $200,000 in low rate emergency loans for the members who needed them. And kind of breaking that down in terms of our loan payment deferment program, that impacted $64 million in mortgage loan payments, $132 million in consumer loan payments, and $117 million in business loan payment deferrals. Again, just to give people more time to kind of, get things in order and do their best to adapt to this environment we're in. We were just so thrilled that we could be there, and we were able to be there because of the strength that we have, because of years of growth, stability, and support from our thousands of members, and of course our dynamic and very innovative employees who really made it all happen, made it all work. So the Nuvision advantage continues because we're member owned. We prioritize our members in terms of the product and service improvements that we can make. We're constantly trying to incorporate feedback, and we're also looking to enhance our online tools. We know that many of our members use digital channels. So we're certainly striving to provide our member owners with outstanding experience, no matter if they use a branch, the phone, or maybe their mobile app. We're continually striving to make it an outstanding experience from a trusted partner who really wants to help our members achieve their goals. That's our focus. So why invest in Alaska? For us was as we got to know the market, got to know the people, it was an easy decision. We believe in Alaska, and we believe there's opportunity here for us as a financial institution and for our members. Denali Federal Credit Union had a tremendous reputation and a strong member base, and we're really excited for the next opportunity as Alaska hits its maturity. Alaska is still a relatively young state, and there may have been certainly population declines in the near term, but for us, when we look at the opportunity in the communities that we serve here in Alaska, we see opportunity. We see opportunity as Alaska continues to look to ways to diversify their economy, explore and share state resources and cultures, and realize it's full connection to the world. Alaska makes up about 40% of our branches and a similar proportion of our membership. So we're rooted here. We're committed to being present for the future growth, and we're ready to take advantage of the opportunities along with all businesses here in Alaska in the years ahead. So what to expect next from us? Well, last month we broke ground on our first standalone retail branch in Wasilla. At least that first one comes out of the Nuvision Credit Union Alaska brand. So dirt is moving, construction is happening. Been out there a few times now. We're also proud to be partnering with local businesses. So we've got a local contractor, H5 Construction, and Spark Design Architects. So we're really pleased to partner with them, another demonstration of our commitment to Alaska. This branch will include a drive-up facility, which for us is a first in the Valley. And it also will introduce some new technology, what we call ITMs. It's basically intelligent ATMs that are designed to even offer members more services for their convenience. Additionally, this new space, it's a larger space than we have currently in Wasilla, will house mortgage services, so a mortgage representative can be on site to assist members with their home loan needs. All 11 of our branches across the state are going through a branding refresh, so you can expect to continue to receive personalized care and financial services that Alaskans have depended on for many, many years. Furthermore, I want to, before we kind of get to questions, would like to personally invite you to our financial center branch on 36th Street for a unveiling event that's coming up. And it's an unveiling event and open house. It's next week. So as I mentioned before, we've been hard at work unifying our look across the state, and we're introducing a Nuvision Credit Union Alaska officially at this event. So it's next Tuesday, October 19th. I think it's 4 to 6 p.m. And we'll be hosting drinks and appetizers and unveiling our new street sign on the 36th Avenue. So we'd love to have you join us. And we'd also invite you, if you can join us, or even if you can't join us at that time, we'd still invite you to help us support the Children's Lunchbox. And you can do that by bringing a non-perishable food item donation, bring it to the event on the 19th, or stop by any of our branches, say this week, next week, and drop off, again, a non-perishable food item that'll go to the Children's Lunchbox. So, and if you're able to attend, please come up. You know what I look like anyway. I'd love to say hello to you in person and possibly introduce you to our business services team or other members of our credit union. That would be, an honor. So with that, again, we've also are moving our website address as part of our unifying. So we've moved that over to nuvisionfederal.com. Again, nuvisionfederal.com. So if you're looking for more information on Nuvision Credit Union Alaska or anything that I've talked about, check out the website, and hopefully you can, find more there. You can always reach out to me separately. So with that, Bill, again, I want to really thank you for this opportunity, and appreciate everyone in attendance for their time and attention. And I'll defer to Bill with the time we have left. Be happy to take some questions. So I'm going to stop my sharing and then turn it back over to Bill.
Well, Roger, thank you for such an in-depth and great presentation. What a great representation of your company, all the good work that you do in the community, and all the great services that you offer. We've got a few questions that we'd like to ask, and then we'll turn it over to audience questions if there are any. We are encouraging you as members of the audience, drop a question in the Q&A. There's no bad questions. There are just, unfortunately, questions not asked. So please don't be shy. Give us your questions, and we'll get them up in front of Roger and have him answer them. But first, I wanted to ask I've got 3 questions that I'd like to run by you, Roger. First, it's very obvious that you worked very hard as a company to help small businesses weather the pandemic. What have you learned or heard from businesses that would be helpful for our audience today in terms of maybe weathering the continued effects of the pandemic, or how to recover, or challenges that businesses are facing that your company might be able to be of help with?
Yeah, I have maybe some thoughts, although we got, I'm sure, a lot of great minds out there. I think what's served us well, and some of the business members we've worked with is, and it depends on the industry, certainly, is the degree that you can have flexibility, that you can give your employees flexibility, and really, I'd say, focus on those who are you're serving, your customer, and staying in touch with them. How can we be most helpful to them during their time? And so whether that be a restaurant or a credit union, I think I'm a big believer in staying customer focused. That's not mean you're always going to be perfect. I know I'm not, and we're not, but keeping that engagement level, to keep listening and then seeing what you can do. I know, some restaurants, an example, even during the hunker down, here in Anchorage, maybe they couldn't do it, do the business inside, but they were doing a bang up, to go business. So I think it's about staying customer focused, in our case, member focused, and staying flexible. And I just say, continue to be empathetic. At the end of the day, one of the things, I talk about a lot with our team, and I just really believe is, to really be kind to everyone. There's a saying, I forget who to attribute the quote to, but there's be kind to everyone, because you just don't know what battles people might be fighting. And I think staying customer focused and remembering that you just don't know what they may be going through, and seeing how you can help them, that's going to build loyalty and continue to build your business. That's just some top of mind thoughts that I hope are helpful.
Well, thank you for those answers. That's some great advice for our audience and for the business community at large. So another one, this one's kind of, this is an interesting one, but the one that we thought you might have some thoughts on. Many Alaskans have moved to a work from anywhere model, and our businesses are also expanding outside of the state. Did this factor into the decision to merge with Denali?
It didn't, in our case, factor in terms of the work remote kind of opportunity, some might say. Although I would say, as I mentioned earlier, for us, and partly because when we've done different merger partnerships, in the credit union world, it's really an opt-in process. It's a cooperative process. One of the reasons that we've been successful is wherever we can, we have people continue to live and work wherever they were before. And even if they might have a new job. So having flexibility and building capabilities for people to communicate. That's why we have roughly 200 employees in Alaska, and we can work as a team in a unified way because we have the technology infrastructure to really facilitate communication and such. So I just say that's been something that how to keep innovation going, how to keep communication and collaboration going, is leveraging those technology tools that are widely available now. We've got not only members in the 5 states I mentioned, we've got team members in Texas and Colorado, and Oklahoma. So we've got team members all over the place, because we find that's been a great way, and I'd say the pandemic has just emphasized this, to retain great talent. So I just, I'd say it's a factor that's allowed us to continue to be successful with Alaska adding to our markets, and particularly with the pandemic. I think just, retaining talent and having basically make sure it works for team members is something all businesses should consider wherever people live. I think it really is a strategic capability. Again, flexible, and staying focused on your customers, your members. But most businesses, you got to have the team members, you got to have that talent. So paying attention to them and making sure things work for team members as much as you can, I think that's the way to go. That's certainly what we try to do.
Great. My last question, sir, and then we're going to go to questions from the audience. And again, folks, drop your questions into the Q&A. You talked quite a bit in your presentation about the opportunities that you see in Alaska, and you've touched on some of those opportunities. I wanted to give you another chance to maybe drill down a little bit on any particular opportunities that you think influenced you and your team's decision to merge with Denali, to enter the Alaska market, and but more so, what are those opportunities that struck you the most that you think lie on the horizon for Alaska?
Well, I mean, one of the things with Denali, they had such a strong following here in Alaska, and we saw the opportunities to bring even more products and services to them, and bring financial capital to, in essence, turbocharge some of what Denali was already doing and adding. So we saw a very loyal member base, and we really felt like we together, the speaker earlier mentioned, better together. It really gave us more opportunities just to bring more to the table and sustain it, over time. And so that's, exciting. There are different markets, like in Wasilla, we see, continued growth. And so some markets, have more growth. We're in, Wasilla, we're in Fairbanks, we're in Kenai, we're in Juneau. So we're all over Alaska, and it's such a diverse, just such diverse communities, but very loyal, caring communities. These are people who really care about each other, care about their communities, and with that, and in terms of a financial services partner, we see great opportunity, Bill.
Outstanding. Well, that ends my questions. Kate, do we have any questions from the audience?
Yes, we do have one question. Thank you, Roger, for your presentation. And the question from the audience is, how many branches are in Alaska, and what are your plans for growth in Alaska?
So we have 11 branches in Alaska. And, in terms of 11 branches, that goes across, I'd say Anchorage has the most, but again, all the areas I mentioned earlier, are all places we have branch locations, including the Wasilla branch that we're expanding there in Wasilla. That'll open, by the way, by the end of the second quarter, to actually get all that construction done through the winter months and such. So in terms of, our growth opportunities, we're continuing. One, we think unifying our brand and our messaging around Nuvision Credit Union Alaska is going to be an opportunity in itself. So our primary growth, while we continue to look at branch offices, like we're looking in Fairbanks, and to do some expansion there and some enhancement of services in that market. But a lot of it is just continued engagement, with our members. We know that members are still, some of them, doing business with other financial institutions. We think we have opportunities to engage them further and introduce more community members who aren't members to Nuvision Credit Union Alaska. So, we really, while we focus a lot and have a lot of pretty technical or, sophisticated analytics and such, I've been in this business a long time, and we're in the people business. So it's engaging in conversations that matter, one members at a time, one person at a time, to really get to know them, to understand their needs, and then offer them solutions that work for them. It's not just about product, it's work for them, that in their best interest. We believe if we do that consistently, one member at a time, that we're going to continue to grow and be successful.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, there's another question from the audience. What are some prominent challenges that come to mind when merging a company, and how do you successfully overcome them?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I think regardless of industry, bringing companies together, and I'd be the first one to say, again, we've done 10 different merger partnerships, we call them. And as we're talking, somebody said, well, bringing it all together, that's easy, right? No, it's not easy. I'd say no matter how well you plan it, there's a little bit of messiness to it. So give yourselves and your team some grace. I think planning has, and really kind of managing expectations for the team. I'd say for starting with team members, your employees, it's really engaging them about what they're excited about and not shying away from concerns. In fact, I'm a big believer in not ask about them. What are those concerns, and how could you go to them and address them? And maybe you can't, alleviate every concern, but in every combination, you'd say every one of them, there's going to be some employee concerns, but your employees are going to be your key asset to making it all work. So I'm a big believer in engaging with your team first, and really, once you know the deals, it's actually going to happen, engaging with them, engaging with their concerns, addressing as many of them as you can, and communicate. I cannot emphasize that enough. And just keep listening, and then keep reflecting back. Everyone will not always like every answer, but an answer that is sincere and authentic is better than not an answer or no communication. And then planning. I do believe, while no plans are perfect, the old saying, make plans and life happens, is I do think just planning for the most critical kind of aspects of your business. For us, it would probably be around systems, technology systems, and really doing all the planning. It's never going to be perfect, but doing planning and practicing kind of what we call mock conversions, doing practice conversions, if you will, to really, for example, make sure the data is coming over clean and accurately, and such as that. Planning can make a lot of difference. But with that, a great team can navigate, because even with the best plans, everything's not going to work. Know that. Everything's not going to work as you expected, but a great team will get on top of it and rectify those things, really quickly. So I think it's about engaging certainly with your customers and managing their expectations, let them know what to expect and when, and listen to them, and leveraging your team. And to do that, it's communication, partnering with them, and then executing on a great plan and celebrating the milestones along the way. It's not mean to ignore maybe the misses. You want to acknowledge those and focus on them. But I think celebrating the milestones along the way with every combination, there are milestones, there are things to celebrate, and there are people to thank. And I'm a big believer in being grateful and celebrating with your team as you complete these major milestones. That's going to allow them to be even more effective and want to, serve your customer base, in our case, membership base, even more so. So that's just a few thoughts that I hope are helpful.
Thank you. All right, here's another one. Are credit union leaders here in Alaska or somewhere else in California?
Yeah, so yes, they're all over. So we have a number of credit union leaders who are based here in Alaska. I'm here often. I actually have a place, so I'm here part-time. I have a place out in Eagle River, have for over 2 years. So I spent a lot of time in Alaska, continue to do that. We also have 3 of our board members who are based here in Alaska, an advisor group that has Alaskans as part of that. So we, in addition to our roughly 200 team members who are here. So we have a lot of opportunity to kind of get insights and pulse on the various communities that we serve, which is really helpful as part of that listening and learning that I talked about in my presentation. I think that's so important that we continue to listen, to learn, and look for opportunities to improve.
Okay, we do have a couple more. What has the feedback been like from members and employees since the rebrand?
Yeah, so the rebranding, I think, we've had some member events, and I've received very positive feedback. I think in other cases, because I want to be authentic about this, some members may not know until we start changing, names on buildings and things, oh, there's a rebranding, because we've been together. It's been Denali, a division of Nuvision Credit Union, since October 1st of 2018. So it's been 3 years. But I suspect when we do make the name change, it's going to, catch some of our members' attention who maybe didn't see some of the other communications. And I'd be the first one to say, I think I saw one feedback from our staff who when we made a change, members said, okay, they noticed it. It's like, okay, I'll wait to see. It's kind of, I think most members, even if there's hesitation or even a little bit of concern about a name change, because again, change, brings some uncertainty for some people, is kind of a wait and see. Well, what do you do with it? And, I think it's up to us to continue to delivering, great experiences and keep getting better after the name change. So it's the same great people before and after. Again, the team's the same as it was, last month as it is this month. But I think we're just going to have to, continue engaging, with our members, and we suspect the majority will be fine, and that some of our members will, kind of have more of a concern about the change. And again, our goal is to continue to engage with them. We've got a great team who knows how to do that. We'll remind them of the talent that we have here that's dedicated to serving them and the products and services that we continue to offer. So that's what we've experienced so far. But in terms of the formal visual name changes, it's just happening this month. So more to come.
Okay, wonderful. And this question is kind of a tag along to that one. Did a majority of the employees at Denali stay on with Nuvision, and was that opportunity offered to all of them?
Yes, the majority did. The majority did stay on, and we're really thrilled to have them as part of it. It was always a big part of, some people have different jobs. So I would say those who some people have the exact same job. That's probably in all business combinations. There's some overlap that happens in some cases. But there's also a lot of new position creations that happen. So what we were always important is to retain as many of the team members as we could. Then life happens. I would say, in our merger work, that often it's a concern about jobs and things like that. Our concern is actually more around retention issues, because, we still have people that, they moved or their spouse moved, and, we didn't want them to leave. But, if they had a job that had to work in person, we couldn't keep them. I would say retention of talent's been key. We often in these mergers create new job opportunities. And one of the stories I can think of that's such a win for us in my perspective in terms of keeping talent. So we had someone in HR, what we call the people department at Nuvision, who was based here in Alaska, a key member of our team, and her husband is in military. They were living, I think, at J-Bear, and he got transferred out to Texas. She continues to be part of our team because she's in a position that could work remotely. So that's just another example of, how we're really thrilled to retain great talent who are based here in Alaska. And even for those who might move elsewhere, which we know people do, in many cases, we can retain those talent because of our flexible work environment and practices that really supports that.
Excellent. That's excellent. All right, well, that comes to the end of our questions from the audience. So I'll turn the time back over to Bill.
Well, Roger, I want to just give you an opportunity. Is there any last thoughts you want to share with our audience as we wrap things up here? We're coming up close to the top of the hour, and I just wanted to give you an opportunity for any last closing comments or thoughts you might want to share.
Well, I more than anything, Bill, I just want to say thank you to you and AEDC. Maybe a couple just, shall we say, quick hits. I don't have time to go in them real in depth, but we are in Alaska, and this is PFD week. So I've learned a lot. If you asked me in 2016 what PFD was, I wouldn't know what it is, but I know what it means now. And so we're excited to be ready to post our PFD direct deposits coming up. So we know that's a big event here in Alaska. The other thing, and this is meant to be a nonpartisan, because we have members from every political party, so I would never, at least intentionally, go to a political issue, but a substantive issue around privacy. We are advocating, there is some proposed legislation around requiring financial institutions, and this is something banks and credit unions and all financial institutions, we're all united on this issue, require us to report details around debits and credit, shall we say, of consumer credit union and bank accounts to the IRS. It's in some of the proposed legislation. We are opposed to it. We think it's not a good idea, and we just encourage anyone who wants to be engaged in that to to contact your congressional representatives to let them know how you feel about that. We are opposed to that legislation, and we don't think it's a good idea to be sharing additional information with the IRS. So I just wanted to get that in only because you gave me an opportunity. And then just lastly, to reiterate that you're invited to our unveiling event, logo unveiling and such on the 19th at our 36th Avenue location, what we call the Finance Center location, and that's from 4 to 6 p.m. And again, if you bring a non-perishable item, that would be a great support to the children's lunchbox. So I just wanted to mention those few things. Appreciate the opportunity, Bill, and I really thank everyone who participated. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Roger. Ladies and gentlemen, Nuvision CEO Roger Ballard, what a great presentation. We can't thank you enough for taking all of this time to brief us on this change and this amazing new set of investments that you are making in Alaska. We deeply appreciate you and the team at Nuvision Credit Union, and thank you so much for being here today with us.
Great. Thank you, Bill. Thank you all. Bye.
I want to thank our great sponsors, People AK. I got it right the first time on the new transition. We deeply appreciate all the financial support that they provide us to make these presentations possible and to be the 2022 sponsors of AEDC Voice. So again, thank you to all the team at People AK for their great support. Our next presentation in November will be Mr. Hugh Short, Chairman and CEO of PT Capital, who will discuss the COVID-19 impact on the business world and the trends developing as a result relating to the Alaska economy. In addition, Mr. Short will provide insight into successfully managing a portfolio of assets that represents tourism, technology, and energy sector services sectors during these unprecedented times we've been living through. The next AEDC Voice is set for November 10th at 10 a.m. We hope you'll join us. And again, thank you everybody for joining us today. We deeply appreciate your participation, your questions. And again, thank you to Mr. Ballard and all the great folks at Nuvision Credit Union and the great people at People AK. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And this ends today's AEDC Voice.
Thank you.